Welcome to our channel. Now in this video, this is not a count video or anything. We are not going to analyze any charts also as well in this video. What we are trying to do is we are going to see certain settings in TradingView and how do we use Fibonacci, how do we customize Fibonacci and other tools that are required for Elliott Wave counting. Now this is actually a request from one of the senior folks who have started to learn Elliott waves very recently. So I think might as well this could be helpful for many others. So that's the objective of it. Now when I see the Fibonacci settings, what I'm going to do is my Fibonacci levels, or this is the tool how it looks like. This is how I've tried and customized it. Now how do we come to that and everything? Well, I'll try to explain it from the scratch. I'm not going to undo the settings that I've done here. So instead, what I'm trying to do, or what I'm going to do is come to a new fresh TradingView window where none of the things are customized. This is when you log into TradingView or any such platforms, this is what the default screen looks like. Now, if you see the Fibonacci tool here, it looks colorful. It is like a rainbow. Now, there are two things that I would like to change about this. Firstly, I don't want the colorful thing because I don't want to get confused. There are certain elements into it for which, because of which I need one color for one fib retracement that I'm putting. Also, the problem is the percentages and values on the left hand side. This is hiding or overlapping with the candles that are already there. Now having all of this to the right hand side will help me in this way. I'm anyway, if I'm applying it onto the live market, the right side of the window or the whole pane is where I won't be seeing any candles because the candles are yet to be formed. So this is useful if I have it on the right side. That's the first idea. Second thing, we will also see that why one particular color for one Fibonacci is helpful. I'll also explain that. So let's begin. Now, when I log in, I don't really need this watch list and everything, so I'm just going to slide it to the right. That is not something I want to see. I've also disabled volume. That is, this is a default setting wherein you see the volume in the charts. I don't want to see it, so I've just disabled it. Now coming to Fibonacci. Fibonacci, when I sort of apply it here, you get a settings tab here. Now this is different from this settings. This will do the settings for the entire chart. This will only be do the settings for the Fibonacci that I've applied, the retracement. So here now let's understand what is what. This diagonal line is what is trend line, what they call it. If you want the trend line, you can keep it. If you don't want it, it'll go. So if you uncheck this, this will go. Now when I say one color for one Fibonacci, I'll say select, say this gray, or this darker gray, and I want all of the levels, I think this was it, all of the levels to be of this particular shade. Now let's quickly do that. Now I'm not really trying to change the default ratios that are available. I'm just going with what at all ratios are there. What ratios will need and all, it's a different discussion altogether. Let's go with the default settings for now. Now these are not editable because I've not checked them. So if I check them only, then I'll probably able to make the changes there. So whether I want them or not, I'll do the settings for every fib level that's available so that I don't have to do it again and again. A few more to go. Okay. Now this is, I could have done it here directly, use one color, all could have been of the one single color that's there. Now this thing on the background is some shades here, right? So it is referring to this background opaqueness. If I do this on the extreme right, this will be extremely opaque, completely opaque, of no use. I don't know why they have given this option. However, we are interested in a fib level like this. So this solves half the problem. All the colors are gone and you can see it's single lines, and there is no opaqueness left now. The other thing we wanted to do is we want to do it to the right. So we'll select values as percentages. So what it has done is from this 0.236, it has changed it to 23.6. Now labels also we need it at the right. So it has gone to the right, is what we had expected, what we wanted. So text also we are trying to make it to the right. I can decide to change the font. I personally like the numbers to be small. So 11 is good enough for me. And then the last thing is fib levels based on log scale, something I usually keep it unchecked. So instead what I do is I try to do this price scale to logarithmic. Now there are two options when you go to the price chart on the right side. On the axis here, you see L as logarithmic, you click it, so the price is now converted into logarithmic. Now most of the analysts use the chart or see the chart in the log scale instead of an arithmetic scale. So log scale, what it does is it every individual price point or the minimum value on the y-axis is some percentage compared to the earlier. So maybe if the normal arithmetic scale could be from, if I'm trying to do a comparison of arithmetic scale from 100 to 200 versus logarithmic scale of 100 to 200. 100 to 200 could be 101, 102, 103, like that. 100 to 200 in log scale could be, say, every value is 5% more than the value earlier. So 100, the next value could be 105. The other value, next value could be 110 point something, and so on. So it will be the slope or the difference between the two values on the y-axis in the logarithmic scale will be same percentage. Here in the arithmetic scale, it's a numerical difference. It's like a straight line curve. That's the basic difference. Now, one more thing we need to do with our fib is, this line is too thick. I'll try to make it thin so that it looks more cleaner according to me, and also it does not take occupy much space. It also helps me see the proper gap, if any. So if there is a gap between this candle and where the fib line is, in if the line is thinner, probably that will make it easier to spot. Now this was about fib retracement. Similar settings we'll need to do for our fib extensions, but we'll come to that. Now the last part is we need to also be able to coordinate this. Now there is one option, you can use magnet, which will you know sort of pull it to the last point of the whichever candles that I'm considering. Magnets, I somehow am not very comfortable with using magnets, so I'll simply try and do a coordinates of this particular retracement. Now this retracement I've put from this low point to this high point. Now for that, what I'll do is I'll take the low of this candle, which is 23,350 exact, 23,350, and I'll take the high of this candle, which is 25,078.3. 25,078.3. Now what it will do, no matter where I've drawn it, it will uh, do all the calculations compared with the range as this, as in low of this and high of this. So anywhere I drag it, I could have get the same what you say comparison, or the same level, plane level field for it. Now this helps me getting the accurate fib calculations or accurate ratio percentages. Now why this is important? Because no matter how zoomed in I am, or how accurate my sense of plotting certain things with mouse could be, I'll still not be able to zoom in to the nth detail in this whole chart because I'm working on certain resolution. Now to avoid errors in the whole fib retracement and the percentages, because these percentages will determine the relationships between different points in the chart. So we don't want to be off there. We need to be exactly accurate. So that's where coordinates or using coordinates between the 2 points, something like that helps. Now, if we do a fib extension, now this was regarding Fibonacci retracement. Now in fib extension, what we will do is we will probably utilize 3 points. So now what we are interested in finding out is what is this particular rise as compared to this particular rise. So it is comparing this rise with this rise, provided uh, these are the particular points that are selected. Now the similar thing we'll need to do here as well. So here we'll do it much quicker, I think. Again, it asks for coordinates. We'll come directly here. Say I want it to be blue in color. No background. Values to be percentages. Value should be on the right. It should be on the right, and this also I'll probably keep it 11. Now for this also I'm going to uncheck fib levels based on log scale because my price already is set on log scales, and reduce this point to 1. Now why we did this reducing the point or the thickness of these lines is we would like to see the overlaps of these Fibonacci, whichever it is. So it has some meaning when I'm applying it in the context of certain waves. So I'll be very much interested in finding out where the overlapping zone is. For example, this is not exactly a very good example to sort of explain this, but I'll come to it. Okay, so now suppose this is the fall, and I'm trying to see what is the whole correction is looking like. I'll try to put a retracement like this from this significant high point to this significant low point right now. Now suppose I am also trying to see the targets of this particular fall. Now I'm not saying that this is the correct thing. I'm just putting this retracement as an explanation, or just to explain certain things regarding this. Now when I put an extension here, what I'm saying is this particular fall that we are seeing here is what percentage of this particular fall. Now when I sort of put these both Fibonacci retracement and Fibonacci extension, I am interested in finding the overlapping zone. So this is not exactly an overlapping zone, but there is a very little gap, and a particular overlapping zone would look like this. I'm just making it up so that we know what it looks like. So this is one overlapping zone. We can call it a cluster. This is also one overlapping zone, and this was a perfect cluster. I mean, I've obviously coincided it manually, but when you see certain price movements, certain movements of the or certain levels of the Fibonacci extension or retracement exactly overlapping, that is where I want to identify certain zones like that into the charts. Now for that, if I keep it, I'll just for the argument's sake, I'll make it 3x. Now this may not be a cluster, but because I've made or kept the thickness very big for this particular lines, I may have a false impression that there is a cluster like this. So that's the reason I'm trying to keep it very minimum. Okay, so this is what the Fibonacci extension or Fibonacci retracement settings are like. Now there is one more thing which is important in terms of Elliott wave counts, is to see the time something has taken. Now for this we are using this last option in this square. It looks like a square box here, date and price range. So what it does is if I put it on this particular bar and I want to see the distance between these two bars, this bar and this bar, it is 10 bars. Now also other thing that it tells is from the points, from the topmost point to the bottommost point, how big the fall is. So this whatever fall we have accidentally mapped is 4.72. If I need to be accurate here, similar thing I'll do with settings. I'll try to coordinate this, which will be this candle's high 25,078.30 and 78.30, and this one will be this candle's low. Now, even though this is the rightmost candle, if I'm trying to see the fall in this entire price, I'll take the lowest point. It's something similar to Fibonacci only. So I'll take this candle's low, which is 23,893.7. 23,893.7. Now, the fall that it is now showing is more accurate. I mean, uh, coincidentally, it was the same. 4.72 remained 4.72. But what is it is telling, from this candle to this candle, when we travel to the right, it is 10 bars. So it is 10 days, because we are in a daily time frame. 10 days meaning 10 working days. And the price from where the top price and the highest price or the lowest price in the region selected is a fall of 4.72%. Now this tool is important in identifying the time firstly, and second is also what is the fall. Now suppose I'm trying to see the different falls here. See this fall versus this fall. I'm just trying to compare. I will need to sort of coordinate this better. Now what it will show me, the comparison is this fall was 8.96%, this fall is 4.72%. I can interpret certain things out of it. So this is where it will tell, and it will also tell me that, okay, this fall has come. Now ideally this is the only one candle it has taken. Let's take some similar, let's take this fall. So from this point to the lowest point it has made, which is this candle, is 26 bars. So it has taken 26 bars to make a low point from this fall. Here it had taken 10 bars. So it is comparable now. I can basically compare the two falls and try and interpret. Now regarding the settings of this, there are two parts to this time and date and price range settings. One is this selection that we are doing, and the other one is the caption bar, or whatever it is called, which displays the value of fall it is, how many bar it has taken, etc. So we'll again go to style. Style, we can again decide to have a line or decide to not have a line. When I don't have a line and I don't see the opacity, I can decide to reduce the thickness. Now this was about the line. So I've just made the lines go off. I mean, this is not something, this is my preference. I don't like to have lines in between. So now what it shows is it's like a rectangular box. I can see which candles I've selected as endpoints, and I can go ahead. I can also decide if I want to have a border. Now I don't want a border, so I'm unticking this. This has some background. Now you can do a setting like this also, where this is all white and you put a border, so you can see it this way. This could look much cleaner for to some people, but it's the preference that I have is I like to have it a little opaque. See a grayish part like this, or maybe this much is enough. And I have the city endpoints are visible here. Now the second part is with respect to labels. Labels, I would generally keep the background off, and label I'll try to keep it 10 bars or whatever. Now this is the, now see the difference here. The background of the label is gone, the lines of these selection is gone, and I have kept a little opaqueness here and not made the borders. So it is again depending on individuals choices and individuals preference, how they want to see this. When I'm using this tool, I usually want to see what the selection is, and I want that selection to be seen distinctly. So that's where I like to have a little opaqueness here. So that's about it. These are the three major things that we will use in counting Elliott waves, and the reason for or the uh, these two basically help me measure the different components of Elliott waves. One is the price fall or price rise, whatever it could be, that is given by both these Fibonacci tools, extension and retracement. And the time part I need to see that I see from this date and price range. So that's about it. I think these three settings could really help anybody count Elliott waves if they are trying to apply certain ratios and stuff. I've not covered what ratios to put in because it's a very subjective discussion. Maybe on some other time in some other video I'll try to cover that. But this video anyway is already quite long. It's been 20 minutes already. So that was about it. The basic settings that one should have in the chart in order to see the different components of Elliott waves, or see the different or try and apply different rules. You need certain tools. So these are the tools and these are the settings. Thank you so much.